All right, we'll call the Clinton Utility Board meeting together. We have no people from the audience, but if we have people show up, we will ask for their input. Let's proceed on with the approval of the minutes.
So moved.
Mr. McBride, is there a second?
Second.
Mr. Crowley, all in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Approval of vouchers.
Move to approve.
Is there a second on the vouchers?
So moved.
Mr. Harrell? Any other questions? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? General Manager, the monthly reports, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. It's always as I look across the board and I see such good positives. It's a good opportunity in the meeting to share the good news. Dusty, I'm going to turn over to you because you've done such a great job of lowballing the budget to make us look so good. So thank you for that.
Yeah, thanks, Greg. February was a good month. The electric department reported a net margin of $285,000, bringing the year-to-date total to $2,585,000. Very happy with that. Average temperature in March was about 5 degrees warmer than the previous year, as well as the 15-year average, which resulted in a load factor of 56.2% for March. So, seeing some relief there with warmer temperatures. Any questions about electric? Water and sewer posted a positive net margin of $32,274 for February, which results in a net margin of $1,265,000 for the year. Any questions about water and sewer?
Questions about financial statements? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved.
Second. First and second. Any other questions or discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Project status report, please.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We are tracking 3 work orders in electric and 1 in water, and I'll turn it over to Todd. Everything's going well and on time and on budget, it appears. So
Yes, sir. Thank you. Yes, as Greg said, the 3 projects there we're tracking, Sequoia Road, which we were tracking kind of through the winter months there, is now complete. That project went very well. Tidied up here before the spring, before the traffic picks up there, everybody on the lake, so finished that just in time. Hidden Valley Road down here, that project continues to go well. Expect to complete it this month. And the third project on the list is over New River Highway. That upgrade, which we have now completed the right-of-way clearing on that and started line construction there this week. Anticipate being completed with it here by the end of this fiscal year, the end of June. So, any questions on any of those?
Greg, I know you can't wait to tell everybody how much progress water and sewer has made downtown, but anybody that has looked down Market Street sees that there's a lot of progress being made and sidewalks are going to look great. Where are we in all of this process?
We are through with the Commerce and Broad Street as of last month. We have the contractors moved out on Main Street, closing certain sections of the road down through there and doing the laterals down through Main Street. Main Street will be the last phase on the lateral portions, the sewer laterals.
I get asked, I know it has nothing to do with you, but I get asked the question all the time, when are they going to start paving? Do you know anything about that?
According to the city, with Roger Howe stuff, they're looking at trying to start paving in June.
That's great.
That's the tentative schedule.
So they're going to continue moving from Hoskins Ritz area toward Lake City. And once they reach Market Street, they'll be done, or will they?
They're going the other direction.
They're going the other direction.
Sewer
They're going from the
Sewer
railroad
goes the
trestle.
other way.
Yeah, down to in front of the Hoskins drugstore.
Right, that's what I'm
Where
saying.
they-
Their construction now, though. So when they are they headed back toward Lake City, or are they headed?
Oh yeah, as
They
far as the
currently-
service laterals,
Yeah, the laterals. That's what
the
I'm saying.
laterals, yeah, they're heading back from.
So they'll come in front of First Baptist,
Yes,
come in front of the old Doherty building,
yes,
and then they'll come to Market Street.
that's correct.
Will they go past Market Street toward Jones
No.
Mortuary?
No, there
That's
actually
already
no
been done.
laterals right there. It's already been taken.
Okay, that's what I was asking. So once they reach Market Street, the project, the
As
closer
far
they
as
get to Market, the closer they are to being done.
for CUB.
Yeah, exactly.
But my
Yes.
understanding, that's just phase 1 of phase 2 of the TAP grant. That eventually goes all the way out to the co-op, correct?
As far as the T-Dot, I really don't know how far it goes.
Okay.
Okay.
Might be the difference.
That's
of
city
CUV
side.
versus
Okay.
city side.
Yeah, it's
Gotcha.
city side.
But Roger shared with me today that just because nothing's where it was said it was lots of times with 100-year-old pipes, but even some of the roadways dig the asphalt down, and the original roadbed has a concrete in it.
That's
Oh, yeah.
correct.
And you have to dig through the concrete.
Main Street's got a foot of concrete underneath. I've been into it.
Yeah, and it's hard.
So I know it's taking longer.
It's good concrete.
It's
Yeah,
taking a
It's
lot
that old
longer than
river
everybody
stone.
wants.
that's right. They're old river slicks.
It's the old river stone concrete, and it's the hardest stuff that you've ever encountered. I've cut it, but that sewer's been redone down to from North Main Street up from Market on back, hadn't it? All that's already
Yeah.
upgraded. Yeah, 'cause
Yeah.
I did part of that back in the day.
I thought they were heading
For CUV. That's where I encountered that. I lost some money on that concrete.
Any other questions on the projects? All right, let's move to approve the work order.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. We've got work order 1089 sewer, and this work order consists of replacing an existing pump station, what we call pump station number 26, and it's a full replacement, electrical control units, and all of that. This project is phase 2 of 3 phases, and we'll be upgrading the Claxton lift station. That'll come not this year, but it's in our budget for next year. Is that right?
That's correct.
And Greg can't wait to get all of these things done because these are the sewer's so destructive on our equipment, and this has been needed. We've needed this for a while. We've duct tape is what held on some of this stuff, but the total cost of this project is $330,000 within what we had budgeted for that, and originally we had put out several contracts for bid on this, so that'll be the next thing coming, the installation of that Gorman Run pump. But I do recommend, unless there's something more you want to say on this work order, Greg, that I
No.
missed.
Was there some talk at a previous meeting that some of that we want to turn over to somebody else?
Oh,
long-term?
absolutely. Thank you.
Refresh me on, because I'm very vague on
It was, we've been talking about this since Reagan's first term. You know, it's been a long, long time. The water and sewer was designed to serve the city. Electric's different, we're across 6 counties. But water and sewer, as it is in many municipalities, serves within the city limits. And back in the 80s, we took over First Utility District, which allowed then the city to annex South Clinton to become part of the greater. We went from the town of Clinton to the city of Clinton. And part of that First Utility District included Claxton.
Okay.
And that's what got us outside of the city limits. And that system was in great need of repair. Garden hose would have been better in some areas than what they put in there. And we've been fighting that pipe for forever, since the minute we took it over.
Pressure.
Oh yeah, all galvanized. It's
2-inch galvanized pressure.
yeah.
Who would
and-
take it over from us, though?
sir?
Who would? Did I understand?
Well, it would be ACWA.
Okay.
Had showed interest. We put in maybe $3.5 million into a reserve tank out there. We have constantly upgraded that. We now moved from a package station at Pineview up to now integrated in that system. ACWA is down there now trying to upgrade their part of the system, and it becomes very difficult to where you've got water from CUB and you've got sewer from ACWA, and in some areas it's reversed. So it makes such good sense for us to serve for water and sewer within the corporate limits, and the county to serve everything outside of the city limits. And that's where we've been moving for quite some time. Where the holdup is is our ratepayers have funded the upgrades. And what we're saying is we want to preserve the asset and on the value of that asset. Happy to, they're not trying to make money, but it's not fair for us to put all of that as we're putting in this. So every time we upgrade an asset, we keep the book value of that. And anytime we want to talk about a transfer, we're going to transfer the cost associated with that improvements that we've done. And that's the sticking point because that's a lot of money. That's a lot of money.
At some point, do you reach a point where it's sunk cost and you need to move on? And
No, because
Okay.
we constantly keep that up to our standard,
okay,
you see. And in order to do that, that's why we're doing this. We thought 3 years ago, well, let's hold off because it keeps the initial cost down and then let them do the improvements. Well, I told Greg we can't wait any longer because the equipment there, it's
but if
costing
the
more to
deal never
maintain.
gets done, we just keep putting money in there, though.
We will continue to put money in there. That's correct. We will do
Which
that,
makes the price even higher.
which will make the initial cost for the transfer higher. It's no.
So will it ever get done, do you think?
Well, I had hoped that there is a grant money. There's been a lot of grant money rolling around, and that would have been an opportune time, but it went to other areas of ACWA where they're now
ACWA would have to apply for the grant, right?
ACWA through the county,
Right.
but then the county got a significant grant that could have been spread real easy into this, but the fever of the transfer went away, and there was a big push by some of the county commissioners down there. Let's get her done because it impedes. We have a moratorium. We can't put any more on our system that we have down there in Pine Meadows. There's Pine Meadows down there than what we have. So you can't get commercial infrastructure down there because there is not the facility to handle the waste, and that's the big deal. The next stop in this journey will be Bull Run,
I was gonna ask about that.
and that would be my next hope because there'll be a lot of money, grant money running around for that.
So that would come through our existing sewer.
No question about it.
Okay.
What we would like to do is, and be happy for, that's going to be our customer. It's in ours. It's in for electrically. It's in our service area. It can be ACWA's because now we serve water down there now. Do we not? Greg?
That's correct.
That'll be a discussion. But I mean, I'm happy with ACWA getting a grant for the mains and the stations to integrate into our system that can pump it all the way to our wastewater treatment plant in South Clinton, assuming that they take the 280 some customers, sewer customers that we have down there now.
Okay.
Just to Robbie's point, though, I think you've educated us enough to also tell us that hey, it takes a really, really long time to recover the investment once you make it, and it seems like there may be some, time value of money analysis or present value of cash flows or something when you run that to look at it and go, there is a point where if you had a large investment that you had to make, or somebody decided that they decided they need to get upgraded lines for whatever reason in a mass way, however that could happen. There's probably some ways that could happen, and you wouldn't want to be stuck in an 8-ball where you got to make this another huge capital investment, right? I think that's probably where I was going, and so somewhere in there that analysis there is probably a break even point where you go, hey, we can get some money out of it, cut where we are, move on, and that way we're not having to do it. So that's just another conversation for another day, maybe. But I think it's an interesting topic. So
We are we are down deep in the weeds on
I'm
that.
sure.
And the good news is, the ACWA, by and large, has an educated board. Ernie Bowles is on that board, and he is intimate in the understandings, and he is a reasonable person to deal with. Understands how it all goes. It just gets down to money. It gets down to money. They have to protect their ratepayers, and we have to protect ours.
Any other discussion on this one? Is there a motion to approve?
So moved. Second.
First and a second. Any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? Let's move on to the award of installation of the pump station.
And that is Maple Street Sewer Pump Station Rehabilitation Project. Southern Sales at $128,520, and this is a sole source because Greg bid this out. Did you not, friend?
That's correct.
And what did you have? 4 bids, if I remember.
We solicited 4 bids.
We still have, and we got nothing. We got 0 back. So that of course we called them and say, hey, they're not interested. So Greg talked with our Southern Sales Group, who's still doing work for us now, to incorporate that into their project, and they gave him this bid of $128,520. Correct?
That's correct.
And we analyzed that and determined that was a fair and reasonable price. So we're recommending that we award this as a sole source to Southern Sales Company for the Gorman Rump Pump of $128,520.
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Any opposed? All right. Preliminary capital budget.
We like to give you, so you'll have time to review, what we do in our process is the first thing we solicit from all the departments is what capital projects do you envision, because we do some of these 5-year lookouts, and then also identify things that are the most recent, and we try to calculate what our standard costs are in general work orders and replacing poles and metering, and we do that in both water, sewer, and electric. And then these, for electric, constantly the cable upgrades. We've continued to invest the savings from Flizzr and from our virtual power plant, which are millions of dollars. We continue to invest that back into the system, which is why we don't have to borrow the money to do that, in order to upgrade our conductor so we can do this great switching for our Flizzr system. And then sooner or later, the day is going to come where we are in very good shape system wide, and a lot of those savings will just go back into the general fund. So we're looking forward to that, but we've got it scheduled out, as you see. The first thing we do is what do we want, what do we need, and how much does it cost? And then the next thing we do, and Dusty's working on this now, is we try to forecast where we're going to be at the end of this fiscal year. And what we'll do is we'll get up through February, and then he'll forecast March, April, May, and June, and give us an idea of where we're going to be at the end of the fiscal year. And then we take that and we forecast out 12 months after that to where we're going to be at the end of June in 2027. And will we have the money then to meet these capital projects that we need? And if not, then we look for whether or not we have to go and borrow money for bonding or whatever, not, which we don't anticipate to do. But that's how that works. And then if in the revenue and expense it's determined that our rates are not appropriate, then that's a good time to do a rate review, which we don't anticipate that happening either. But that's the process we go through. First, we do the capital outlay to identify what we think our capital needs are, and then we're through the process of revenue and expense as we forecast, and then see at the end of the day what reserves and funds are going to be available to meet these capital projects. And that's what we'll bring to you next month. This month is just so you'll have, and it's a preliminary. We'll change it if we see we're tight on money anywhere. But this gives you an idea of what we see are our capital projects for the upcoming year. And next month, we're not going to ask for a vote, but we'll go over it next month. And then in June, the following month, after you've had then a full month of what we see as the proposed budget, you'll have a month to review that. Then we'll ask you for your approval in June. So I'm not going to go unless you want me to. I won't go over these things line by line because you're just now looking at them. And if you look at them and have a question, please holler at me and we'll talk about it. And then next month, when you see the preliminary, I'll do a better job of going through this, and that way I might answer a question you might have about it. Unless you want me to go through that tonight.
What about that street light replacement? Is that going to LEDs?
Yes, it's good.
Thank the Lord, I got them all down my street, but I had to close my blinds.
You know, and that'll be a little bit in other business, which I can jump in right now, Dave. We are about 2/3 of the way through on streetlights. We've got about 3,000 streetlights, and we're about 2,000 into the conversion. And what we've tried to do on streetlights is we've tried to take it by section, so it doesn't look haphazard. One high pressure sodium, one LED. So by sections, it's also a safety thing. You know, we see you don't want to be jumping at night into different kind of lights as you're driving down the road.
Is that a cost savings too, the LED versus the?
Well, yes. The energy is saves us.
Yeah.
But the installation obviously is more.
Right.
At the end of the day, and this is what we talked to the city about, Roger, we think that because of the lower cost of energy cost, and it's going to be a net savings for them over time. So
But the city pays for that.
that's correct. That's all city
All
lots
part of the
investment.
cities.
Where we're going to get into next month is the manufactured high pressure sodium lights are now discontinuing to provide high pressure sodium.
So don't have a choice.
So and this gets us into security lights.
I was going to ask that.
That's private security lights.
So this is what people have up in their backyards, all those nice little orange lights. So because we now, but we have an inventory, we have a stock, but now we have to get moving because we anticipated our strategy was to get the street lights squared away first and then move into security lights, to say residential, for example. Now we can't do that since the manufacturer discontinued making those high pressure sodium. The last one. We are going to have to design a rate schedule for security lights. We've got a rate schedule for high pressure sodium, but we don't have one for security lights. So Todd's working hard to get the numbers of the cost of what it's going to cost for these security lights. We're going to then put a multiplier on it for energy, and then we'll do the methodology that TVA has designed for us for that rate schedule. And we anticipate to have a rate request for LED security lighting to you next month for your approval. What's it going to cost for someone to get a security light, an LED security light?
What if they've already got the sodium light?
They're going to keep it. They're going to keep it, and
Until
we're
it
going to
burns
work
out.
this thing through attrition
Until it burns out.
till it burns out.
So then we
Exactly.
take the pole down? And,
No, we take the fixture down.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Take the fixture down, and
So they've never paid for it before, but they
You
have.
pay a monthly fee.
you'll pay a monthly fee.
Like I pay, is it $7?
$5, 6, or 7.
It's like the
$7
there's one in front of my
Depends on where you are.
house I'm not paying for that.
That's a street light.
That's a city street light.
Okay, I'm getting confused.
I put
on
some
different
of
lights.
them in my rental houses.
I got you.
I've
I
got
got
one
you.
half
I understand.
So,
between my house and my
The
barn.
city's paying for that.
City's paying
it'll
that.
be, it'll be
Two
different.
properties, yeah.
It'll be different because we're not doing it by section.
It'll be-
We're gonna do it by attrition.
That's good.
So
so
you're
what's
gonna have
gonna
one
happen-
neighbor's gonna have this nice LED light, and the other neighbor's gonna have this high pressure sodium light. Now there'll be different costs for both of those. You know.
So in my case, just as an example, I'm paying my $5 to $7 now, whatever. I'm groovy, but in 2028, 2029, everything burns out.
be a LED.
It's going to be replaced with an LED, and there'll be a price adjustment.
That's correct.
$200 a month.
No. No.
Or two.
So Dave, did that answer your question, Fred?
Yes. Thanks
Okay,
very much.
That's good.
Complicated.
That's
All right, anything else on that?
we're in other business now, Mr.
Yes,
Chairman.
sir.
Is that
other
right?
business.
All right. The first three paragraphs were on LED lights, and we're already squared that away. Next
Not one
Monday.
paragraph.
Next Monday, it was a lot. Next Monday, Todd and I are going to be traveling to Huntsville, Alabama. Can't wait for that ride through Chattanooga, by the way, to attend and participate in the TVA Spring Valley Partnership Meeting, which is going to be interesting because this is the first time the power distributors will get together with TVA, and we're going to be talking about leadership. You know, that's going to be an interesting meeting.
Maybe Todd's gonna apply for that job.
Yeah.
Well, don't pay $6 million anymore.
Yeah, boy,
Pay
that-
$500,000.
Think a little more.
I don't believe that'll
Just let
stand.
you know.
I don't believe
That's what
that'll
the paper
stand.
said.
I really don't believe that'll stand. It won't stand. So anyway, then next Thursday and Friday, I've agreed to be on the program of the 2-day TVA Economic Developers Annual Forum in Nashville. So I'll be going to Nashville at the end of the week. And finally, next month, as I've already said, we'll present the draft 2026-2027 budget for your review and discussion. And the following month, which would be in June, is when we'll seek board approval. So next month, I'll also, assuming we can get the numbers and the calculations done, we'll have a rate for these LED security lights that we're going to need the board approval. That's all I have, Mr. Chairman.
What, Carl?
Oh, go ahead. Mr. Chairman.
Just a quick question. You know, TVA didn't have a quorum. Then they got a quorum. Now the CEO's leaving. That's who we buy our power from. And I think the rates are being discussed right now through some sort of process through TVA. How does that affect all that? Or is it just business as usual? And that was more of the, is
It's
that
long.
negatively going to impact us? Their turmoil, not stability, or?
Well, I have to say the answer is yes. It will. It's going to impact the valley. They're already, some are leaving the ship, as they say, because of this turmoil. So that's years and years of experience that's leaving. The president has given the board 90 days to review his request for this cap on compensation. I've talked to some of those board members. I've written letters concerning that, and not only to them, but also to PPA, because I want to be involved in representing the LTCs to the board on this issue. That will not stand. It just cannot stand. TVA, and the billion-dollar corporation that it is one of the lowest paid of these huge utilities. So even though he was making $7.5 million in bonuses, that for the industry it's low. If they put this into effect, it'll probably affect 400 to 500 employees, and they'll all go because they all can do better out in the private sector. You know, you've got nuclear engineers, and the steps that they're taking are these SMRs, this modular reactors, I mean, they need that level of expertise and experience, and they're going to lose all of that. So the question is how are they going to be able to respond to the administration, and what the president sees that he only makes $400,000 and the congressmen make $200,000. Although if you're a congressman and you make $80 and $12 billion in the stock market, you know, I'd say it's a pretty good gig. You know, that's what you call an extra benefit, and so they're getting a lot more than what that base pay is.
It never happens.
It's going to affect us, and we're going to do everything we can to protect the public power model, because this impacts the public power model when they do this kind of stuff. They can get a body in there for $50,000 a year, and it'll be a disaster. Millions and millions of dollars it'll be a disaster because of the lack of experience.
Okay, thank you.
Any more questions, Darryl?
Was it?
Mr. McBride?
Good.
Mr. Crowley? Big Bob's Barbecue when you're in Huntsville. Big Bob's Barbecue.
Oh, they're just.
Is there a motion to?
It'll be all work.
I make the motion to adjourn, sir.
So moved.
Need a second.
When we're in
Big,
Huntsville,
big